Right, it's time for the paper review. Now let's take you across what the headlines are on papers across Nigeria this morning. We have joining us leadership and communication strategist Dotun Ojon. Dotun, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a wonderful, brilliant Monday morning.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us right
Pleasure
now.
always.
All right, let's begin with the Punch newspaper now. We won't donate land for ranching, says Southeast governors. This was a meeting held in Enugu over the weekend, and they have resolved when it comes to ranching, we're not donating any land.
Yes, there's no reason to donate land. No single reason why they should agree. In fact, if they have agreed, I would have been worried that they do not actually understand the feelings of their people. At this moment in time, there's no reason why the nation is not one as we speak now. And we must, as a people, we must continue to emphasize the need for the government to continue to unite us.
But when governors have said, everyone has said ranching is the way to go, not the other grazing route or grazing reserve as they say. So if that is the way to go, so why wouldn't they give land for ranching?
May not necessarily be donating land.
Exactly.
But allowing the herdsman to buy land
anywhere he wants
in the country.
The herdsmen have not said that they want to do that.
Okay.
What we have heard over time is government coming out to say they want to do that on behalf of the herdsmen. So we shouldn't mix it up. And this is a private business. What's the business of government in private business? So let us allow these people. One of the reasons, one of the problems of this government is the issue of believability when it comes to the issue of herdsmen. And the only way to show that the government is sincere is to handle private business in a private form.
It's all right. Well, there are also calls that if there's going to be land for herdsmen, there should also be land for fish, for those into fisheries, into poultry, into piggery and all of that. Now, let's move on. 4 young Thai footballers rescued from cave.
Yes.
This was news making rounds across the world, and it's
the weekend,
after the weekend
now.
was.
Yeah, thankfully.
I think a number of them are still there, the coach.
Yes.
You know the question people have been asking, people are really curious. How did they even get into that cave in the first place? What kind of adventure was
But
that?
you saw the response.
Oh,
The response was
yes.
wonderful.
It tells you how much can be achieved when people, pull forces together.
Exactly. Let's just run through some of these. Crisis APC drags Galadima, others to court. And then we have the sad story. Ex-Ondo deputy governor's daughter found dead in boyfriend's room. And in 2019, PDP BOT governors, National Assembly members, others meet today. And then we have this very troubling, we have evidence of politicians' involvement in killings, the presidency.
Nobody is interested in evidence. Everyone is only interested in what's it called? Prosecution.
Yeah.
That's what everybody is interested in. Not coming to the pages of newspaper to say, oh, we have, it's annoying. Honestly, it is. Because the greatest challenge of this government now, I tell you that the security challenge of this present time has overshadowed whatever achievement this government has achieved. And I am one of those people who think that this government has done so well in the area of infrastructural development. This is the first government that will take government. Think so? I think so, and I know so. This is the first government that will take governance as a continuum, because they took over many of the abandoned projects of the last government, and they are working on it. But all this has been rubbished by their inability to handle security.
And security is very vital. To the nation now, Ekiti 2018, elders call for peace. CNPP seeks credible poll. And Fahimi warns troublemakers to leave. Accord suspends chieftain for backing Olushola.
It's actually going to be a test ground. This election is going to be a test ground for whatever will happen in 2019. And that's why you can see that nobody is taking chances with it. The PDP is coming out with all force, and the APC too seems to be rely on the power of what's it called, of the zonal regional power, because either we like it or not, Ekiti State is the only state in a PDP-led state in the southwest. So
it's interesting you even say that Ekiti will be a litmus test. You recall when we had a chat with the INEC chairman,
and it was litmus test.
Which litmus test? When am I going to pass
this test? Exactly.
Like he feels, look, there is no need for us to be so alarmed about upcoming elections like we've always done in the past. All right, RAPC, PDP summons Atiku, Makarfi, and others. Okay. PDP is summoning them?
Yes, calling them for a meeting. Maybe
yeah, they're having that meeting today as
yes,
we hear.
Calling them for a meeting today, or the presidential aspirant and some governors and senators to see how, according to the report, to see how they are going to admit the reformed APC members, if at the end of the day they say they are actually going to join PDP. But from the latest release of Senator Dino Melaye, everybody is thinking that, oh, my home actually means that.
Have you watched the remix of the song?
Yes.
Oh my God! I think he's going to make the Grammys.
Let's move it. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. Okay. Lagos bids for more foreign investments. Okay, that's an interesting one. Of course, Lagos has proven itself to be an investor's, you know.
Yes,
delight.
The capacity, we have the capacity. I'm talking about Lagos. Lagos has the capacity. We have the wherewithal. But again, we need to work on electricity. Not just generation. Maybe we continue to work on our law so that they can also have the capacity to distribute without necessarily transmitting to the national grid. Because without power, I doubt whether we can actually get some of these investors.
And another Nigerian killed in South Africa. Well, Abike Dabiri Erewa has been saying that government is truly worried about these developments. Okay.
Well, being worried is one thing, and doing something is another thing. Remember, this has happened before. Let's move to the Daily Trust now. How ministers, bureaucrats, lawmakers hijack federal jobs. And then there's a percentage of major secret recruitment by federal agencies. We have the Central Bank of Nigeria, we have the Federal Inland Revenue Service, we have the Nigeria Prison Service, we have the Directorate of Security Services, and the National Population Commission.
Now, let me quickly relate this with what we have, the report we had the other time about poverty, that Nigeria is now
the poverty hub.
Now, what India did was not really so fantastic. In 2015, the United Nations says to end the issue of poverty, more allocation should be given to people living in abject poverty. Mike, do you know why we're still in poverty? Because the resources revolve around the class of people. When they want to make appointment, they call their cousin, they call their brother, and those people that are supposed to be lifted.
That is why the government is saying
out of poverty are not lifted.
That was one of the reasons why the government says the Abacha loot will be distributed to the poor.
Distributed what? We're not talking about distribution, because even if we talk about distribution now, it has happened over times. During PDP, I know it. I went to get a loan from Bank of Agri because I was not a party member. They didn't give me. And that's the same thing that's going to happen. If you are not a member of APC, there are all possibilities that you will not get. Because who is going to compile this name?
It's okay. Well, when it comes to secret recruitment in federal agencies, I think it really goes on from the reports we've been getting. But let's move on. A Nigerian killed in South Africa. That's really sad. And government has to take this up seriously. APC will prosecute Galadima-led RAPC. The federal government unveils national carrier name next week in London. The name, the logo, and all of that will be, the colors will be unveiled in London.
Why are we doing that in London? Why not here?
There'll be an FS show in London.
Maybe because of investment, really. It could be because of investment. Because as we speak now, government may not have the capacity to run some of these businesses without the input of private sector, maybe because of investment. My prayer is that...
But government is going
Which investors now?
But government is going to provide the first, the takeoff grant for that, with about five airlines that will be coming.
Do you know this? I can't remember the figure that government has injected into some of these airline business in Nigeria. It runs into billions of naira, and despite that, they are still struggling. So,
they're talking about $8.8 million for a start. But anyway, we'll get to look at all of those. Well, that's the daily.
Okay, moving on. Still talking about the national carrier. Nigerian Airlines aircraft size shrinks. Fares rise by 15%. That's coming from the New Telegraph, of course, and passengers to experience delays at airports. FG to unveil $308.8 million national carrier December 19. All right, police lockdown Ekiti, July 14 Guba election. IG deploys 30,000 policemen, sniffer dogs, 2 helicopters, DIGs, 4 CPs, 8 DCPs. I
think this is like a war.
The whole world,
the whole armory
is going to
exactly.
What happens to the rest of the country when we deploy all of this?
My concern is even now we can actually police a state during election, but can we police the nation?
during a general election.
During the general election. So we should continue to look beyond displaying our capacity within one state and begin to think about how we can secure the entire nation when we have the general election.
Isn't it a reflection of where our democracy is now, that you still have to over-police like this? 30,000 policemen.
You continue to over-police when politicians begin to continue to talk tough. You continue to until we get to a point where politicians can see this as a service to the society.
We haven't made much progress in terms of political democratic majority.
The problem we have are the political people.
Yeah, but another concern there is if the government is so willing to deploy about 30,000 police and helicopters and all of that to Ekiti just for election, how about the killings in Benue? How about the killings in Taraba, in Plateau, in Nasarawa, in Zamfara State? Where are the helicopters and all of that? And
ordinarily the way a soldier will behave in Lagos will be different from the way we behave in Borno. A soldier can come out and slap you in Lagos, but when they get to the forefront of war, they are always afraid.
Don't even say that about our armed forces.
That is the fact. That is the fact. And that's exactly what's happening. Once it gets to the issue of tackling the issue of herdsmen now, everybody is talking about lack of ammunition. But when it comes to election,
let's move on. Let's move on. Fact crisis. 14 governors can't pay salaries. States resort to bank loans and civil servants face hard times.
You know, with my little experience in government and my mathematical prowess, I use the word prowess deliberately.
Or statistics.
I can tell you that every state in Nigeria has the capacity to pay salary. The problem we have is mismanagement. How much is this allocation that we are talking about? How much do we spend on security vote? In the real sense of it, how much do the governors get?
Well, in fact, Serap is even saying they're going to go to court or at least charge the governors for mismanaging security vote. It's a whole lot of money.
And you know what? There is a state that where workers have not received any salaries this year. The last time they received any salary was in November of 2017.
And in fact, Governor Fayemi has...
I didn't put a name to the state.
Well, we heard that it's on the report.
There's no state in Nigeria that does not have... I'm coming. There's no state in Nigeria that does not have capacity to generate enough funds. Starting with NURTW, for example.
Exactly.
The illegal money that goes to tout, stopping vehicle and order can pay salary of a local government. But they will not look at that direction because they want to contest for next election.
All right, and there's a bold picture here. Before we round off, commuters stranded, workers flee as fire guts NNPC depot. Do you wear a tie? Yes, you do.
Yeah, of course I do.
All right, ties reduce blood flow to the brain.
Yeah, that's true.
Just for your information.
If you make it so tight, in fact, there are times if you make it so tight, you feel the contraption there.
Like your head is about to explode.
It's doing that. So there's a way you have to. All right, let's move to the final paper now. The Point newspaper now. Battle for Aso Rock. Oyinlola may replace Secondus as PDP chairman. Coalition molds review of name for former ruling party. PDP ADC leaders meet in Abeokuta to fine-tune master plan. And stakeholders to unveil single presidential candidate in few weeks.
The only condition that will be practicable, I'm talking about
the replacement of Secondus.
The replacement is if the PDP has decided that they are going to pick their VP from the South-South region, which is possible because either we like it or not now, they have a stronghold on the South-South region except for Edo State. So if they decide that they are going to pick their VP aspirant from that zone, then to compensate the Southwest people, we can be talking about the PDP chairman.
Well, it's possible. In fact, it's the ADC that's moving in that direction with the suggestions. All right, federal government not sincere about ending bloodshed. Sebastian, Honorable Middle Belt leader, is saying that. And OBJ Afenifere Alliance, we can't trust former President Fashomi is saying that. And I wanted to be a nun, but my dad threatened to disown me. Activist Oke Odomaki says that. And also inside, Falana gives condition for establishing state police.
Okay.
The issue of state police will still keep being a debate in Nigeria.
Maybe one of the conditions should be that we look at the capacity of state first to pay salary.
Okay. Well, you said all of them have capacity.
All
so
have the capacity, but is the political will there to do the right thing?
Let's leave it here now, and then we'll get briefly after this break to our discussion. Dotun will be keeping you for the next discussion, so stay with us now. Stay with us on the Breakfast Program.